U.S. and Cuban officials say they're investigating allegations of a possible acoustic attack on U.S. embassy staff in Havana last year. Some diplomats got so sick that they returned to the United States for treatment. In response, 2 Cuban diplomats were asked to leave Washington in May. CGTN's Michael Voss has our story.
This is such a bizarre incident. It raises more questions than answers. It's the sort of thing that might have taken place at the height of the Cold War, rather than now after the 2 countries have restored diplomatic relations. We're told that late last year, several US diplomats and their families complained of physical problems, especially hearing loss, and that it became so bad that in February of this year, 2 diplomats had to return to the United States for medical treatment. It's claimed that this may have been caused by some sort of sophisticated sonic device that gives out audio waves the human ear can't hear, but is causing physical damage. In retaliation, in May, 2 Cuban diplomats were expelled from their embassy in Washington. Now, the Canadian government says that at least one of its diplomats also suffered hearing loss here, and that they too are involved in the investigation into what happened. Meanwhile, here in Havana, the Cuban government has issued a statement read out on national television saying that it had nothing to do with any of this.
The Ministry of Foreign Affairs emphasizes categorically that Cuba has never, nor would it ever, allow the Cuban territory to be used for any action against accredited diplomatic agents or their families, without exception. It reiterates its willingness to cooperate in the clarification of this situation.
Just to add to the confusion, there is speculation coming out of Washington that it may actually have been a third country that was involved in this, someone trying to build a wedge between the United States and Cuba. There's also speculation that it wasn't actually a sonic device aimed at hurting anyone, but it might have been some sort of new sophisticated listening device planted in or around the homes of diplomats that was having these unexpected physical consequences. We're told that the Cuban government is going to allow FBI agents here to further investigate this. One of the questions that's still being raised is what effect this might have on future US-Cuban relations. Remember, under President Donald Trump, he's already rolled back some of the advances made under President Obama. He's made it more difficult for Americans to travel and do trade in Cuba. Now, some here are worried that this latest incident may be used as an excuse to further crack down on Cuba. Michael Voss, CGTN, Havana.